So you're really in love with Travis Kelce anytime touchdown right now? Or first touchdown?
First touchdown.
Wow.
I say they get a possession, the second possession. Andy Reid likes to go on defense first, so they can get the ball back on halftime.
True.
Nice little 3 and out by the Chargers, and then we get the ball back, and then we score.
Well, there you have it. I mean, if you're not going to see this game beforehand, but by the time you see it, let's see if Travis Kelce scores a touchdown.
The first touchdown.
First touchdown. Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We are your hosts, Mike Meals.
The one and only.
I don't know why I had a little delay there for a second. There's so much information, so much stuff. But
Yeah,
make
there's
sure
a lot.
You like, comment, subscribe. Tell us, what do you like to see? Our reels have been blowing up lately. All of our information's getting out there, you people. I'm seeing a lot of comments. We've been responding.
I love it. I love the interaction. I love the comments that people are leaving, especially if they don't agree. I actually love to go back and forth with the people that don't agree with us.
Definitely.
Because not that the people that compliment us are not fun, but you know what I mean? Now we have something a little bit to go back on. Sports, everyone has their own opinion. That's the greatest thing about it. And we'll agree to disagree always.
Some people had comments about the who would you rathers. They said,
They love that.
they were like, yo, that's a crazy game. Some people loved it. Some people obviously wanted to hate us on it, but
Yeah, it's okay. Michael Jordan used to say, if nobody hates you, then that means you ain't doing your job.
you ain't doing it right, I guess. But look, we're not even trying to bring the hate on. We just want to know who would you rather. That's all it is. To it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're going to tell you the start-sit decisions. Let's talk about the last night's game. So just so you know, we are recording this right now, 8 o'clock on the dot, during the Friday night game, Chargers and Chiefs.
Yeah.
The game that happened last night was the Eagles-Cowboys.
Wow, what a game. I feel like that game got off to a great fantasy start.
It did.
Right? It was like a 1969 Mustang. It started out great, and then the thing died out on the turnpike. Like that rain delay, or whatever you want to call it, the weather
Storm
delay,
delay.
lightning delay. I mean, it really effed up things, because
Totally.
again, everybody's warmed up, everybody's going back and forth, but I think the weather played into the hands of Dallas because they make that turnover. You and I are texting. Miles Sanders
fumbles.
drops the ball, fumbles the ball, and they pick it up. Eagles possession. They can't. They suspend the game. I think that took away momentum from Philly a little bit because they go 3 and out when they get the ball back. When they came out, but still, nevertheless, I think it was a great game. I think Dallas could have had a shot to get away with one in Philly. There's definitely more points that were left on the table for Mr. CeeDee Lamb and your boy Dak Prescott. I mean, that was your stack going into the year, and it was looking very promising on the beginning drives. My condolences to people who had Javonte Williams on their bench.
Yeah, so I mean that's the whole thing is that like honestly going into it you expected a lot more, but you got that in the beginning. But then the storm delay happened, and stuff like this happens in fantasy. I'm not too worried about it. Dak Prescott, despite him not having a lot of points, he looked amazing.
Yes.
He was moving the ball. CeeDee Lamb did look good. He did have a couple of drops. Again, it's first week. But somebody check on A.J. Brown because it's devastating.
Is he
for
sleeping with
AJ.
the fish or what?
1 catch, 8 yards on 1 target. But again, this is the Eagles' offense. They look like they're picking up right where they left off from last year with the running, focusing Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, between both of them, 32 carries.
Yeah, I don't want people to come out and annihilate me. And week 2, A.J. Brown goes for 5 catches and a TD. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying it's the system that they're in. Devontae Smith, for all his targets, he barely did anything with them either. Johan Dotson, may he rest in peace, freaking caught 1 ball, and that's all he saw all night. So, Eagle receivers, you have to put in your mind, do not rely on them. They're great for, maybe a bye-week filler, a great matchup, if they're playing Carolina every week. But other than that, don't rely on them. This team revolves around Saquon and Hurts and the running game.
They're officially, I would say A.J. Brown's officially probably a wide receiver 2, and Devonta is a flex play at your wide receiver 3. You got to If you have other options, consider them. I mean, it's so hard to pass up on them.
For me, they're uber talented, but for me, they're just flex options or not even an option. Again, bye week filler, someone to put on my bench as some depth, but I'm not playing them in my wide receiver 1 or 2. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, but Jalen Hurts looked great.
Yeah, of course.
Javonte Williams, you know what? He scored a lot of points, but again, going back to last year, we said his yards per carry had went down significantly. Yesterday, despite the 2 touchdowns, still only averaged 3.6 on the ground. Let's see what happens. But it was exciting. We got a little taste of it. We got a little taste of another game right now. We'll talk about in a little bit.
Yes.
There is some big fantasy news. I feel terrible for you CMC owners because Christian McCaffrey officially did not practice today due to calf soreness.
Yeah, on my way, making it to the office here, he did come out and say that he feels great now today, and maybe it was a little soreness, maybe someone ran with a story, and he was feeling something. But we all have to remember to temper our expectations with CMC. He is coming back from that calf injury. He hasn't played since November maybe. Mm-hmm. So for us, just temper your expectations. This is why I stressed, go get Brian Robinson. I don't care if it was the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th round. Go get him because he will be an RB1 if McCaffrey cannot go. And please be alert, right? Of the alerts, of the notifications going into Sunday. By 12 o'clock, you should know if CMC is playing or not. And you have to make that decision whether you want to put in Brian Robinson or not, or pivot to another option. So someone like CMC, if you have all 1 o'clock games, I would personally put him in my flex, right? If he cannot go and I do not have Brian Robinson as my insurance policy, I could probably pick up a tight end on the waiver wire. I could probably pick up a wide receiver, right? It doesn't have to be a running back. The position is scarcity enough. So just pay attention.
Yeah, if Brian Robinson is available in your league, you definitely should pick him up.
Run right now.
Right now. And then, of course, Isaac Guerrero is another one. We saw him last year.
Isaac Guerrero's a desperation start. If you
have to pick him up.
Yeah, if you don't have Brian Robinson and you have no alternative plans, you must go to Isaac Guerrero. He does know the system. Brian Robinson just got there yesterday, so who knows how it would go.
Another big bit of news, Christian Kirk not playing week 1.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't really... This was one of my sleeper picks earlier in the year, but I really didn't have him on any of my teams just because he was just a very safe pick. Now with the injury, I'm just fading this player. If you have to pick up a player to play and you don't have an IR spot, I hope to God you do. If you don't, because there are leagues out there that don't play with, I would just drop him. For me, he's a drop because
absolutely.
Week 1 you have to get off to a great start. I'm not saying you got to come off blazing, but you gotta play players that are available.
He was like a last minute ad anyway for most people in the draft, so drop him. Look for Jaden Higgins. He's probably taken already, but if you see him, grab him immediately. And now even keep an eye on Jalen Noel. He was the 3rd round wide receiver that got drafted after him. Actually, Jaden Higgins' teammate, but he reminds me of kind of like a Tank Dell, a little smaller guy, and I could see him, making some opportunities out there. But keep an eye on these. We're gonna go over some of our must starts. What else we got?
Can't wait for that.
Sits.
Starts and sits. Also, too, for us as fantasy guys, we want to look at, right, as you go up into matchups, and you're streaming, let's say, the quarterback position or any other position, you want to look at the under-overs of games, right? If it's a higher scoring under-over at 50 or 48, you want to be a part of that game. So this plays into our must-starts, must-sit segment for sure.
Always, yeah. I feel like it's a mixture of that with opportunity, and I even look at weather now. Weather has been a major factor, especially this time.
I think every game should have a dome, but that's just me.
Dome games are the best. Anything that comes with the word dome is
weather
good.
delay last night.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is I think this time of year you're going to see that the little bit of rain scattered. We're still we're in that fall weather, but It's nothing too crazy. In the end, these are professionals, and I think especially for running backs, sometimes the weather doesn't make as much of a difference. But again, pay attention. I think there's also been a lot of people talking about rookies and whether or not you should start them. This first week is going to be
Right.
a test where you really see how these teams view these highly ranked rookies.
Yeah, especially we have them in our segment. So
Yep.
that is something I can't wait to get into. And let's start it off. Mike,
Oh.
who are you starting? Week 1, numero uno. We're getting off. I'm tired of these mock drafts. I'm tired of the drafts. We have our teams. Who we starting off with?
To start for me, it's easily Tetaroa McMillan, the rookie wide receiver 1 for the Carolina Panthers. I think is a must start this week. You already saw they traded Thielen. Their options are limited. They have committed to him being the wide receiver 1 over there. And he came out with a quote earlier this week basically saying, he said, "I do this," is exactly what he said. He was talking about being a wide receiver, and he said, "Listen, I do this. This is why I am wide receiver 1." It was something like that. I'll get you the full quote, but regardless, he seems very confident. And this game, it's the Panthers playing the Jaguars. There is a little bit of rain expected, but both teams, I think, have a lot to prove and have made significant adjustments during the preseason or the offseason where I feel like I really want to watch this game. Despite it's the Panthers and Jaguars, I'm really curious to see how the usage goes. On the other side of the ball, you got Travis Hunter, but regardless, Tetaroa McMillan is a must start. And probably where you drafted him, you probably need to start him at your wide receiver 2 or a flex play. So get him in your lineup.
Love that take. That game, when the schedule came out, I thought it would be an epic showing of the rookies that were.
The rookies.
T-Mac
and Travis Hunter.
You can't get better than that, man. It's like OBJ playing against Mike Evans back in the day. For me, right, is another matchup like that. It is Miami versus the Colts, and it's Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren, he's the man, first round pick, 14th overall out of Penn State. He is 6'6", 256. He is a stud. He should have been a New York Jet, but he's not.
Oh.
He's an Indianapolis Colt. And who's the Colts starting quarterback? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, the Colts did Tyler Warren a huge favor and his fantasy owners because now Daniel Jones will be throwing to a security blanket. Daniel Jones loves to throw to the tight end.
Yeah.
And Miami is terrible against tight ends. Terrible. Last year they ranked 30th out of 32, which is...
Was it 30th? Yeah, their defense was awful last year. And they lost some pieces, too, during the offseason.
Also, there were reports coming out that they were going to try Mr. Tyler Warren for some tush-push.
I heard about this.
Steichen did create it with Sirianni when they worked with the Colts back in the day. Sirianni took Steichen with him to the Philadelphia, and then Steichen came back as the head coach. So I truly believe that with that little wrinkle, you could get some cheap touchdowns with Mr. Tyler Warren. And it's a dome game.
Dome game. I mean, that is a huge factor. And Tyler Warren, I'm so excited to see him this year. Where you drafted him, you probably need to start him. But if you had any other option, don't.
We're following it up.
Give him a
rookie
shot.
back-to-back here.
Yeah, exactly. Rookie back-to-back. And now I'm going to go with my must-sit is Calvin Ridley of the Tennessee Titans. Going up against the Denver Broncos, I think this first week, you need to wait and see. Be patient. I know he's the wide receiver 1 in Tennessee. But Cam Ward, his new quarterback, he is a rookie. And I want to see how he runs the offense. And I don't want to see it against the Denver Broncos. With Calvin Ridley lining up against Patrick Surtain, now obviously it might not be on every single drive, every single snap, but for the most part, he's going to be lined up across an elite defender. I think Calvin Ridley, if you have him right now in your flex position, you probably have another option, maybe like a Jalen Warren, or let's say you drafted a Matthew Golden. There's so many other people that I would consider starting there if I have the option.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Denver's a very stingy defense. It'll be Cam Ward's first NFL game. For me, I love him as a prospect, but to get Calvin Ridley the ball with all this pressure, Wow, we just had Worthy go down a
We're
little bit
watching
here.
the game live right now, the Chiefs and the Chargers, and Xavier Worthy looks like
They just pulled him out. Little shoulder injury there. Hopefully it's minor.
I'm freaking out right now. I'm not gonna lie. I
Good
have
thing
him in
I
a
don't
league.
have him.
I do have him in a league.
I just have him in parlay. But yeah, no, going back to what you were saying about Calvin Ridley, it's a tough defense in Denver. Denver, I believe, is a 10-point favorite. Yeah, I like the Calvin Ridley sit.
Wow, he ran into his own player there. And Calvin Ridley sit. Yeah, I mean, for me, just because I'm thinking of where you drafted him. If you have to start him, go ahead. It might get ugly, and go to church.
Literally. Okay, my must sit is Mr. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. You know how I felt about this.
I thought you were into him.
I am into him for the season, but for the first game back, he has unfamiliar weapons. I mean, he does know Pearsall, but Brock Purdy was hurt towards the end of the year, and then with Jawan Jennings coming back, they haven't had any practice time. So for me, I like Brock Purdy sitting. He's going to the 12s. Seattle, it's very tough to play there. We don't even know if he'll have CMC in the backfield. For me, he's a no-go. If you could find someone on the wire like a Jordan Love or a lot of people have been down on Justin Fields, I might do it just because of the rushing capability. And hey, listen, the Lions have been giving up some points.
I'm only laughing because he's not lying. Listen, I am in a league with him, and I've gotten used to now Puma's chronic ad drops. You know what I mean? He'll do like 5 or 6 in a row, and you can see it in the recent activity. I get the notifications. I pay attention. So I see today adds Justin Fields, drops Yominyor, the guy from Titans or whatever. Then he adds so-and-so, drops this guy. Adds this, drops Likely, whatever, picks up Likely. And one of the last moves he does was adds Jordan Love. And Jordan Love is his starting quarterback this week. And who does he have on the bench? Brock Purdy. So this is legit advice here.
This is legit because I take my own advice. I would never give advice that I wouldn't take of my own. So that's something I want to put out there as well too. I don't just talk out of my what and don't do it myself.
Oh, well, listen, that was a great play. So anyway, let's go back now to some of the week 1 matchups that we want to talk about here. Some must-start sits. You have the Chargers game, which we're talking about right now, Chargers-Chiefs. By the time you've seen this, the game is over. But, I mean, some of the things we're interested in seeing, I'm interested in seeing Pacheco. I want to see what his usage looks like.
Oh, for me, it's Marion Hampton all day.
Of course.
It's the rookie. I took him 3rd in our draft.
Yep.
I'm really eager to see how he is utilized, what Jim Harbaugh is going to do, and, what his, snap count is going to be. What's his attempts going to be? Are they going to work in Najee Harris, the pirate with one eye? But we'll have that answer for you the next time we see you.
Well, right now, I just saw him take a little 5-yard carry up the middle, and he is a captain, too, I just noticed. Which is, I love to see that. I love to see captains. Oh, Xavier Worthy's being taken off the field.
Wow.
I think it was a separated shoulder. By the way, he was like holding it, hanging down like that. There goes Hampton.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Now, that's a good matchup. That is the Brazil game, so keep an eye. Hopefully you love Karol G at halftime.
Oh, Karol G.
I hope we get to see it in time. Oh, God, that's not a good look, Xavier.
Well, maybe he comes back.
We'll see. Another interesting game of rookies, Raiders and Patriots. I'm definitely interested to see the Travion Henderson usage.
Yeah, Travion
sure.
Henderson, Ashton Genty. We have the young stud running backs in this, but I feel like it's going to be more of a defensive game, believe it or not. Again, there's not many wide receiver weapons on either team, for this. So I feel like it's going to be a very, very quick game, a lot of field goals. But let's see, maybe it's Ashton Genty's coming out party. For me, I love the Browns and Bengals. About 2 weeks ago, I traded for Joe Burrow in my keeper league. And I feel like he's going to light it up, Mike.
Oh, wow.
Light
He's
it
a
up.
notoriously slow starter.
Yeah, he is notoriously slow, and usually week 1 is not his week. but they used to say that about a guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Now, give me a break. And look at him now. He's out in
That's
a
now, but I'm
cave
just saying when he
somewhere
was on the
doing
Packers.
mushrooms.
Well, yeah, now he's getting ready to play the Jets. But yeah, he's actually on that place by the turnpike. No.
That's right.
No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I just feel like that's going to be a great back and forth. I think your boy Njoku, we made a
Yes.
short about that. I think he goes off. Jerry Jeudy, I think he goes off. I love this game. Lots of fireworks. Joe Flacco, somebody that could put up points. Bengals don't have a great defense.
Yeah, I think Joe
Let's
Flacco
see.
is going to light up their defense. So
Let's see.
If you're in a position where you have to start someone, like let's say you're like Puma and you trade your top 5 draft picks, and,
Yeah.
and you end up with Charles Tillman, I'm not even kidding. He's probably a worthy flex play.
You want to make some money? Bengals defense anytime touchdown.
I like that. I like that.
Because think
You're big
about
on
it.
the
I
deep
feel
touchdowns.
like Joe Burrow and the Bengals would be up. Joe Flacco might have to Jameis Winston force it. It could happen.
Yeah, that's a huge game. Another one. Go ahead. Who else, Puma? Who do we
Oh,
got?
Buccaneers at Falcons. I love that. You get to see Michael Penix, the second-year quarterback. I think that's going to be really good. I think also, too, you get to see Bijan Robinson, a lot of people's number 1 pick. That's going to be good and exciting. Bucky Irving, my boy.
Oh, yeah.
A guy that
Luka.
I love, and I have in all my leagues. All of them. Bucky Irving. I have in every league.
I could have taken him in that last one, because I had him in 2 leagues, I took Chase Brown instead.
Yeah.
He's lucky that I spared him Bucky.
I mean, listen. If you
You're
didn't, I
lucky
would have
for
went.
Bucky.
I would have went. I would have went. I would have went Chase Brown. Basically, there it's like either Austin Eckler or Alvin Kamara. I like Alvin Kamara, but
I take it, I guess.
I'll take Chase Brown as well too. He's serviceable. But at 49ers at Seattle again.
Oh, big one.
Darnold's coming out party. Is he gonna be a scam? Is he gonna be Sam? Who knows? Lions and Packers. I think this is another good under-over, high-scoring affair. People want to talk about Jared Goff isn't good outside. Well, you know what? You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you could always dump it off. Sam Laporta Potty.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Lions.
Oh,
Packers.
Lions Packers. Yeah.
I think it's very likely someone to score in that game. Sam Laporta. I love his utilization that they could use in the red zone. Josh Jacobs, watch out for my boy Jordan Love. I said is a good start as well. Texans at the Rams. I think the Rams are going to show out here. I think they're going to show that Matthew Stafford has no back issues. Look for my boy Puka Nacua to just go off.
The Texans and Rams. Yeah. Now the one thing I definitely want to keep an eye on is I guess just the running game in Houston, because right now some people have Chubb on the bench or Damian Pierce. Let's see. I want to see how the passing volume goes now, especially knowing that there's no Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
How the target's going to get distributed. I'm expecting a big day for Nico Collins, big day for, Rams wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Rams could have a big day, and like you said, Nico Collins or even Jaden Higgins. I think that in SoFi, Rams are going to be up. C.J. Stroud is going to have to throw.
Big time.
Good points for them. I don't know about the RBs for Texans. I mean, in a pinch, I would start Nick Chubb if I have to, by a long mile. I mean,
On a
Damian
flyer.
Pierce and Woody Marks don't really cut it for me right now. I don't know what they are. But, if you need somebody to start there, it's Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, man, God, I used to love him so much. He was so elite back in the day. And now
Yeah.
the last game we're talking about here is
The Monday night.
Monday Night Football. Viking. Wait a minute, we did miss one that I want to talk about real quick before this. The Sunday Night Football game, Bills Ravens. Talk about a high over under 50.5. There's definitely pieces I want in that game, but these are two receiving corps that I'm very skeptical of having anybody play. And I feel like, I guess if anybody, Zay Flowers, I guess it's like a definitely automatic start, but I don't know about Keon Coleman, Shakir.
Yeah, for me, I feel like as a avid FanDuel bettor, I would take the under. And the only reason why is highly anticipated games like this usually become defensive efforts.
True.
Right? And the Ravens definitely beefed up their defense. Malachi Starks in the first round from Georgia. They just signed Kyle Hamilton. They're going to have their defense ready to go, Baltimore. And I think it's only by a touchdown, like whoever takes the score. I know the Baltimore's favored right now by -1. It's been going back and forth all week. I've been looking at that. But your Josh Allen's, your Lamar Jackson's, Derrick Henry, of course you're starting them. That is a no-brainer.
Must start James Cook. And keep an eye on Keaton Mitchell. I've mentioned it in the past.
Yeah.
I want to see if he gets some touches. If it's just going to be Justice Hill and him or not. What's the last game?
The last game is Minnesota at the Bears. And right here, Mike,
Monday Night Football, baby.
is a sneaky Bears defense play for me, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a young quarterback, they're not going to be in the dome. And, a lot of new pieces he has to work with. I feel like the Bears could probably catch him napping here with Ben Johnson's first look.
Let's see if it went yet. Yeah, I saw somebody had dropped the Bears in my other league. I'm streaming defenses all year in this league, and I saw somebody drop them, and my eye was on them. I'm like, let me see. They're projected the highest on waivers right now.
Yeah, I think it's a sneaky play. Cairo Santos, another sneaky play, the Bears field goal kicker. But for me, a biggest play in here, DeAndre Swift. I feel like a lot of times last year, the Minnesota Vikings had some problems with the running back. I think DeAndre Swift goes off in Ben Johnson's debut.
Yeah, he certainly could. Listen, they have no Roshan Johnson. He's not going to play. Monungai was even a little banged up, and they didn't really even add any other running backs during the offseason.
Right.
I knew you were big on him.
Yeah, I was big on him. I took him in our draft, I think in the 5th round.
And you took him in all the mocks. You don't think I was paying attention to you, Puma?
Yeah. Guys that I really wanted on my team this year was Bucky Irving, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Warren.
You've been a big fan of DeAndre Swift even back when he was a rookie on Detroit?
2020 when he came out of Georgia in the 2nd round to the Lions.
You were a big fan
I was
of him.
big on him. He reminded me of Todd Gurley. He just never either got the opportunity because he had Jamal Williams take away, goal line from him, or, injury.
He was a first-round fantasy pick like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, but you know what? He's got his old coach back, a guy that believed in him as an offensive coordinator. And I think instead of people doubting him and they're going to use Roshan Johnson or they're going to use Monungai, I think Ben Johnson utilizes him perfectly. And let's not forget, they just redid their whole offensive line in free agency.
The whole thing.
They're ready to go. I think Caleb Williams shows us why he was the #1 pick last year.
The Bears were...
Let's go out and prove it.
They were exciting in the preseason, so I am definitely excited to see those guys. A lot of fantasy assets over there. But we'll keep you up to date. We'll keep hopefully getting some more episodes out before next week. We'll have, what do we got, waiver wires?
We got waiver wire. We got, again, our must start, must sit, and
start, sit.
And also, too, I want to have a little segment of fab bidding. I know there's leagues out there that you guys do some blind bidding.
True.
The Tuesday before the Wednesday morning waiver wires run. So I'd like to do a little segment about that, on just to either how to be aggressive or to lay off. I think that's something that everyone should be knowledgeable about.
Now, we got 2 minutes. Let's say a couple other things. I think it's definitely important, like Puma said too, to maybe make some roster changes before the kickoff. I saw Puma doing something where, he was able to afford to drop somebody, and there was a couple guys in IR that he liked.
Disposable.
Yeah, disposable player that he could get rid of. Then a couple guys in IR that he likes to fill up his IR spots. You keep some extra ammunition there. Don't waste the vacancy.
Well, right. If you always know your platform and your league settings, right? If you have an IR spot, 1, 2, 3. A lot of leagues I play in have 3. Mike's has 2, right? So I'm going to make sure that I get 2 people that are officially ruled out or on the PUP, which means at least they're out for 4 weeks. And I'm going to make sure I fill those spots, a.k.a. as known as Isaiah Likely and Marshawn Lloyd. Now, are these players going to be huge studs for me? We don't know. But it might be something I could use later on.
It's a strategy that you definitely want to implement and trying to maximize your roster space. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And just make sure that you're looking for people with upside. and don't put in waiver claims like on a Thursday, Friday because you see somebody. And for me, if I'm trying to keep my waiver priority, try to make sure that you're being smart about who you're adding.
Well, it also too, it's someone that you really want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if somebody drops Javonte Williams, like someone I know, you know,
Yeah,
yes,
that's a different story.
That's a different
That's an
story.
emergency
and you're
waiver
starving
claim.
for a flex or an RB2. Yes.
Did you get him?
No. Our waivers, because the game was played already,
Oh,
won't run
won't clear
until
till next.
Tuesday.
Oh, that's gonna be a
Well, that's
fierce.
great. That's
waiver
great because for me, you know, I get to see who else could possibly perform. You know, I have Kareem Hunt going tonight. I know that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I really, truly feel he's going to get a touchdown. So let's see. And, you know, if I need to go make that play, we'll save that for next show.
Yeah, we'll try to come up with some more things, you know, but that'll do it. Listen, we are the Fantasy Wise guys. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, make good decisions, enjoy the games, have some fun, man. It's week 1.
Yeah, ball out.
Again, Mike Meals.
Joey Puma,
We'll
master
see ya.
your game.